Hello everyone, welcome to soundproofguide.com, and in this video I'll talk about the cost of soundproofing a room. Soundproofing comes packaged in many different types, and each package has the number of square feet marked on them. You must know the total square footage of an area to be insulated and the number of materials needed to determine the soundproofing cost per square foot. In this video, I will show you how to calculate the cost of soundproofing a room and also how much does soundproofing a room cost in general. A construction calculator makes it much easier to calculate how much it would cost to soundproof a room in your home. If you do not have one, a regular calculator will also work, but not as well. So let's begin with the steps of how to calculate the cost of soundproofing. Step number 1, multiply the length by the width of an area that you want to soundproof. For example, if the range of the walls to be insulated added up to 40 feet 8 inches and the ceiling was 8 feet high, the area would be 325.36 square feet. The 8 inches is converted to a decimal number by dividing it by 12. Step number 2, subtract the square feet of windows, doors, and other openings in the area to be soundproof. Calculate the square footage by multiplying the width by the height or length of each walls. Step 3. Determine the number of insulation bags needed by dividing the total square footage to be soundproof by the number of square feet in each pack. Number 4. Multiply the number of materials needed by the cost per bag, including taxes and shipping, to determine the total cost. And final step is divide the total cost by total square feet to calculate the price per square foot. For example, if the total cost was $90 for insulation and you had 275 square feet to insulate, the price per square foot of insulation would be around 33 cents per square foot. Of course, these are a lot of numbers just thrown at you, but it will make a little bit more sense as the video goes on. Just a quick pause, if you like this type of content, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you. The soundproofing cost of a single room usually involves $170 to $250 for brand new materials, $190 to $300 for skilled labor, and $20 to $36 in equipment required to carry out the task. However, the cost would be higher for bigger rooms and even more complicated jobs. The price estimates do not involve the price of taking out current insulation material or customizing any existing structures or area. All aspects taken into account, nearly all homeowners pay between $1,015 and $2,585, with the regular soundproofing job expenses around $1,746. The above rates will offer property owners the best idea of what they could be ready to spend to soundproof a room. The exact cost varies depending on various factors: the standard of the materials, the expertise of the service provider, and the location of the project may all influence the cost. The season the job is done, the intricacy of the project, and measurements of the room can also impact the price. Homeowners must be sure to get an authorized quote in writing before efforts on the job begins to ensure there are zero pricing shock over time. The prices for the material rely on a variety of resources. However, it is typically measured in length or the number of pieces. For instance, different materials might be sold by the roll, by the sheet, or even by the foot. The charges for labor are usually determined by the hour, although it could be the minimum requirements. To better inform you about the cost of soundproofing a room in your home, I'll give you a list of some of the soundproofing materials that I always recommend and also use when soundproofing a room. I will also give you an insight into what you can expect for the cost. These prices would be in US dollars. All you would need to do is add your state tax, and that should give you an idea of what to expect. So the first product that I recommend that I often use is soundproofing caulking and sealant. There are a few different brands of soundproofing sealants to choose from. The one I most often use is from the company Green Glue. They have a noise-proofing sealant and also a noise-proofing compound. The noise-proofing sealant is like caulking, but much more pliable, so it won't crack as it ages, letting noise inside the room. You would use this to seal around window casing, electrical outlets, the cracks between the electrical box and walls, and also between the floor and baseboards. Sometimes there's a small crack letting air and noise through those areas. The green glue noise-proofing sealant would run you around $20 for one tube, but you can buy a pack of 6 on Amazon for roughly $75. I would go with a box of 6 because you'll probably use more than one tube. The green glue noise-proofing compound is a bit more expensive than the sealant, running at about $100 for a 5-pack. You could probably find a single tube at your local hardware store for about $25. You'll most likely need more than one tube if you're looking to soundproof more than one room. The compound will be used primarily for when you would want to install a second layer of drywall over top of your wall. The sealant creates an acoustic barrier between the 2 layers of drywall, decreasing a small amount of decibels from traveling through the wall. Remember, even though it's just a few decibels, choosing to apply a few of these options to soundproof a room adds up in decreasing the number of decibels that passes through the walls, so every bit helps. The second soundproofing material that I use often is called Putty Pads. Putty Pads would only apply for someone soundproofing an unfinished room or house. A putty pad is used to fully cover the back of an electrical box outlet before the drywall is in place. All you need to do with a putty pad is wrap the entire electrical box of the electrical outlet. You are thus creating a seal over the holes and cracks. Sealing these holes will create an excellent soundproof barrier between the 2 rooms. Even the smallest gaps will let noise through. A pack of 10 of putty pads will cost you around $60, but for an extra $10 you can buy a pack of 20. You can also place a putty pad around light fixture electrical boxes because even those holes will let noise through. If you're just soundproofing a room, however, you can buy a single putty pad for approximately $10 on Amazon. Number 3. 5/8-inch drywall. Most homes these days are built using 1/2-inch drywall, but if you want a more soundproof room, then 5/8-inch drywall is the way to go. Sound isolation is not the only reason 5/8-inch drywall is better than 1/2-inch. The reason most contractors use 5/8-inch drywall on ceiling is that the thickness of the drywall is much stiffer. Another reason to go with a 5/8-inch on the ceiling is that you will significantly reduce the chance of the drywall bowing between the ceiling joists, especially if they're on a 24-inch centers. Of course, when you use a thicker product, you'll have better soundproofing. Sheetrock Ultra Light 1/2-inch by 4 feet by 8 feet drywall sells for about $12 a sheet. Sheetrock Ultralight 5/8-inch by 4 feet by 8 feet sells for approximately $20 a sheet. The $8 difference is well worth it when soundproofing a room. If you're in the building process, then you're already spending $12 on drywall. Might as well spend an extra $8 for the 5/8-inch. You certainly won't regret that decision. Remember to apply some green glue noise-proofing compound between the 2 sheets if you're soundproofing an existing wall. Number 4. Rockwall Acoustic Mineral Wool. If you're in the renovation or building stage, then consider using Rockwall Acoustic Mineral Wool for your insulation. A pack of 6 will cost you between $70 and $80, depending on where you buy it and if you buy in bulk. This stuff does undoubtedly cost more than your standard pink fiberglass insulation. If you're only soundproofing one wall or one room, however, then this is something to consider. Number 5. Resilient Channel. A resilient channel leaves a small air void between an existing layer of drywall and the second layer of drywall, making the wall or ceiling much more soundproof. Air is an excellent insulation, and applying a resilient channel does not cost very much money and is easier to install than you might think. All you need are resilient sound isolation clips to attach the metal channel. You can buy a pack of 10 clips for roughly $70, while the metal channel will cost you around $10 each. You can save when buying in bulk with a case of 32 8-foot channels for about $170. Number 6. Solid core door. If you're looking at soundproofing just one room in the house, then buying a solid core wood door is a must. Of course, these doors are much more expensive than your standard interior hollow core door, but it does the job in terms of noise blocking. A hollow core door that you would typically have inside a home will cost you around $35 to $100. A solid core interior door, however, will cost between $250 and $400. But if you only need one, it's something to look at. Swapping the door will not be enough to stop noise from coming through this big rectangular gap. You will also need to make sure that the bottom of the door is properly sealed as well. Getting rid of the air void under the door is crucial if you're soundproofing the entryway. Even a small crack will compromise the money you're putting into buying a solid core door. The door sweep I usually recommend for this type of project is only about $10 on Amazon. Even adding the door sweep to a hollow core door will help immensely in soundproofing a room, especially on a small budget. One last thing to add to the door to make it more soundproof is a rubber gasket to seal around the door. You will know if you need a rubber gasket around the door casing if you can see light shining around the door coming from the other room while closed. A self-adhesive door gasket is easy to apply and only costs around $5. So to conclude this video, you can spend a lot of money trying to soundproof a room, but if you're not doing it properly, then your efforts will be for nothing. I hope this information on the cost of soundproofing a room will help guide you in making the right purchases. Let us know if you have any suggestions and tips that we forgot to mention. We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Don't forget to take a look at our other YouTube videos for many DIY soundproofing tips, and also our website at soundproofguide.com. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to give us a thumbs up, and if you like this type of content, consider pushing the subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.